The cameras were already rolling, the crowd restless, when the name echoed through the speakers. Next on the tee, Caitlyn Clark. For a moment, the air itself seemed to hold its breath. No one expected to witness history that day, least of all Tiger Woods. He'd seen it all before. Legends rise and fall, phenoms crumble under pressure, but this was different. When Clark stepped forward, calm and focused, the world of sports stopped spinning. The crowd didn't know it yet, but they were about to watch something no one thought was possible. It wasn't just another celebrity charity event. It was supposed to be lighthearted, a mix of athletes and entertainers. But when Clark's name hit the lineup, something shifted. The usual calm of the RSM Classic Pro-Am vanished overnight. Tickets that had been gathering digital dust were suddenly gone. Thousands wanted to see her swing a club for the first time, not because she was a golfer, but because she was Caitlyn Clark, a name that had already redefined what it meant to be a star. This wasn't golf anymore. It was theater. When she appeared at sunrise, the atmosphere didn't feel like a golf tournament. It felt like Game 7 of the WNBA Finals. Fans wore Indiana Fever jerseys, not polos. Signs reading CC GOAT, and History in Motion waved above the crowd. Even Tiger Woods, the sport's ultimate icon, seemed amused by the transformation. "This is wild," one announcer muttered. "We've never seen anything like it." Nobody could look away. There was a sense, an intuition, that something extraordinary was about to happen. And then it did. Clark took the tee box, shoulders loose, face unshaken. The crowd went dead silent, thousands waiting for the sound that would decide the day. She drew back her club and swung, and the sound that followed didn't just echo, it exploded. The ball shot off the tee like it had been fired from a cannon. It soared through the air, perfect form, perfect power, landing 270 yards down the fairway. Tiger Woods blinked, then grinned in disbelief. He whispered, "That's the best first swing I've ever seen from a non-pro." Within minutes, social media was on fire. Steph Curry tweeted, "Caitlyn Clark might be better than me at this point." ESPN went live. Hashtags like hashtag Clark Records and hashtag Golf Queen flooded timelines. Golf Digest posted a headline that would define the moment. Caitlyn Clark just changed golf forever. What was supposed to be a fun exhibition had become a defining sports moment. The crossover no one saw coming had just rewritten the rules of athletic stardom. And Tiger Woods, the man whose name built modern golf, was suddenly standing in awe of someone from hardwood. But the real jaw-dropper came later. Hole 7, a par. For that, professionals treat with caution. Caitlyn didn't. She adjusted her visor, stepped up, and looked down the fairway like she was staring at destiny itself. One deep breath, one perfect swing. The ball climbed into the sky, curving with impossible precision. It bounced once, twice, and rolled until it stopped inches from the cup. For a heartbeat, there was silence. Then the crowd detonated. Phones flew. People screamed. Tiger clapped. And the legend of Caitlyn Clark grew 10 times bigger. By the end of the round, the scoreboard was impossible to ignore. Clark had finished 13 under par, a Guinness World Record. She'd done what no celebrity guest had ever come close to achieving. 13 under, one reporter said, shaking his head. That's not luck. That's legacy. It wasn't just a number. It was proof. Proof that Clark didn't just step into new arenas. She conquered them. Even Tiger Woods, in his post-round interview, admitted that was one of the cleanest, most confident swings I've ever seen from someone outside professional golf. And yet, the part that truly stunned people wasn't just a record. It was how easily she did it. Clark wasn't trying to make a statement. She wasn't chasing validation. According to reporters, she showed up saying she just wanted to relax, to have fun. Her version of relaxing? Shattering world records and humbling professionals. It was casual greatness, the kind that doesn't announce itself, but instead leaves everyone else scrambling to comprehend it. When she smiled afterward, it wasn't arrogance. It was peace. She knew exactly who she was. That calm confidence is what separates her. While others obsess over legacy, Clark lives it in real time. It's why fans line up hours early wearing basketball jerseys at a golf event. It's why her presence alone turns sleepy ticket sales into a sellout storm. She's not just a player. She's a movement. People don't just watch Caitlyn Clark. They follow her. And on that course, her following grew from basketball loyalists to something much larger, a global audience witnessing a new kind of champion. But the story wasn't just about golf. Because as the LPGA was celebrating Clark's brilliance, the WNBA world went silent. The same players who'd spent the season throwing shade, calling her overhyped or privileged, suddenly had nothing to say. No tweets, no congratulations, just silence. Fans noticed immediately. Funny, one post read, "They had time to criticize her all year, but not one word when she breaks records." Another said, "Their silence speaks louder than their words ever did." The contrast between admiration and bitterness couldn't have been sharper. Meanwhile, LPGA stars embraced her with open arms. Nelly Corda, the world's top golfer, told her, "You belong here." Maria Fassi said, "Caitlyn's energy is pure. She brings something we've been missing." It was a world that saw her not as a threat, but as an inspiration. In basketball, Clark was often treated like she had too much light. In golf, they celebrated that light. You could feel the difference. One league tried to contain her. The other gave her room to shine. And that distinction didn't go unnoticed by fans. Within hours, journalists started writing about what they called the Caitlyn Clark effect. Every sport she touched turned to gold. The Pro-Am event she joined for fun saw ticket demand spike by 1,200%. Sponsors flooded the phone lines, offering golf apparel deals, streaming partnerships, even beverage endorsements. Clark's single weekend appearance had generated more buzz and revenue than some full LPGA seasons. One network executive said bluntly, "She's not a guest anymore. She's the main event." That's the kind of power you can't buy. You can only earn it. The irony was painful for the WNBA. As LPGA broadcasts replayed her historic shots, WNBA social pages stayed quiet. Their season was over, but the bitterness wasn't. Comment sections were brutal. "One league promotes talent," someone wrote. "The other promotes drama." It wasn't wrong. For months, the WNBA had tried to downplay Clark's impact, controlling the narrative, minimizing her visibility. But now the control was gone. She had broken free. The world wasn't asking the WNBA for permission to celebrate her anymore. They were doing it themselves. And as all this unfolded, Tiger Woods, yes, Tiger Woods, was taking notes. Reporters caught him smiling at her after the round, whispering something that made her laugh. Hours later, photos leaked of the two talking privately near the clubhouse. No one knows what was said, but insiders claim Tiger offered to train with her personally. That's something he almost never does. If true, it means Clark isn't just a guest in golf anymore. She's being invited into the sport's most elite inner circle. The kind of circle that changes careers. But then came the real bombshell. Within 48 hours, Caitlyn Clark signed 3 new endorsement deals. One with a top golf apparel brand, one with a luxury watch company, and one with a beverage brand launching a new focus campaign. Combined, those deals were reportedly worth over $15 million. $15 million for a weekend. Let that sink in. That's more than most WNBA stars make across their entire careers. And she did it with a golf club in her hand. It wasn't just success, it was dominance. Analysts scrambled to explain it. The Caitlyn Clark effect, one article read, is rewriting sports economics. They weren't wrong. Every appearance she made created shockwaves, ticket sales, broadcast spikes, viral engagement, sponsorship floods. She didn't just boost markets, she transformed them. For decades, sports leagues have searched for that one figure who could unite audiences across gender, sport, and culture. Caitlyn Clark became that figure effortlessly. Every time she steps onto a court, or now a course, the world pays attention. And attention, in today's economy, is power. But the most remarkable part wasn't what she gained. It was what she gave. Because while the WNBA's silence spoke volumes, Clark never returned to negativity. When asked about a lack of support from her peers, she simply smiled and said, "I'm focused on what makes me happy, competing." No shade, no bitterness, just poise. Her response said everything about her character. She didn't need to defend herself. Her actions already had. That calm confidence only fueled her legend further. It was a kind of grace that made fans adore her even more. Even her parents' reactions added to the mythology. When reporters asked them if they were surprised, her mom laughed. Every time she picks up something new, she give her heart to it. Her dad added, "We stopped being surprised a long time ago." That one quote captured it all. To the world, Caitlyn Clark's brilliance might seem miraculous. To her family, it's just Caitlyn being Caitlyn. Different sport, same ending. She walks in, breaks records, and walks out like it's nothing. The world marvels. She just smiles. As interviews flooded in, Clark stayed behind on the course, signing autographs for kids and taking pictures with families. One young girl asked her how it felt to break a record on her first try. Clark laughed and said, "I didn't even know what the record was." It was such a simple line, but it said everything. Effortless greatness. No ego. Just pure love of competition. That's what makes her unstoppable. She doesn't chase headlines. Headlines chase her. And even as reporters scramble for their next quote, Caitlyn just kept being herself. Behind the scenes, organizers were doing math, and the numbers were wild. Merchandise sales tripled overnight. The event made more in 48 hours than the last 3 combined. Sponsors called, demanding Clark's name on future events. Golf networks reported that her rounds broadcast drew more viewers than most LPGA finals. She didn't just break records, she broke algorithms. Suddenly, every sports league was studying her formula. What makes Caitlyn Clark so magnetic? The answer is simple. She's real, and she's relentlessly excellent. By the next morning, the world's biggest athletes were reacting. Patrick Mahomes tweeted, "She's a monster." LeBron James reposted her near hole-in-one with the caption, "This girl different." Even skeptics couldn't deny it anymore. Caitlyn Clark wasn't a flash in the pan. She was a phenomenon rewriting what cross-sport greatness looks like. But amid the celebration, that same eerie silence from WNBA players lingered. Fans kept asking the same question. Why can't they just be happy for her? Maybe jealousy, maybe pride. But either way, Clark had already moved beyond them. Because here's the truth. She didn't need their applause. She had the fans, the sponsors, and now, the respect of Tiger Woods himself. The biggest name in golf couldn't stop talking about her. Confidence, precision, no fear, he said. She has it. Coming from Tiger, that's a crown. Golf Insider said privately that the LPGA was already brainstorming ways to collaborate with her. Exhibitions, clinics, even crossover events. The message was clear. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just a guest star anymore. She was the future of sports synergy. And that's what makes this story so powerful. One woman, without even trying, exposed 2 worlds. One that celebrates greatness, and one that tries to contain it. The LPGA saw value and gave her a stage. The WNBA saw a threat and built walls. But walls can't hold someone like Caitlyn Clark. She's already gone beyond them. Every time she touches a ball, whether a basketball or a golf ball, she turns the moment into something timeless. The kind of moment that lives forever on highlight reels and in headlines. When asked later if she considers switching sports full-time, Clark just shrugged. "Let's just say I'm keeping my options open." It wasn't arrogance. It was possibility. Because deep down, everyone knew she could do it. If Caitlyn Clark joined the LPGA tomorrow, she wouldn't just compete. She'd dominate. Even Tiger said it himself. If she took golf seriously, the sport would explode. He's right. She has the kind of charisma and skill that transcends boundaries. When she plays, people don't care what sport is. They just want to watch her win. And maybe that's the ultimate truth here. Caitlyn Clark isn't chasing greatness. Greatness is chasing her. From packed arenas to golf greens, from skeptics to legends, she continues to prove that talent has no limits. She doesn't force moments. She creates them. She's not demanding attention. It follows her wherever she goes. And in a world full of noise, Caitlyn Clark's silence says it all. Calm, confident, unstoppable. Whether it's basketball, golf, or something entirely new, one thing is certain. When Caitlyn Clark shows up, history follows.